Hello everyone, if you can hear me. It's my first time streaming in a while, and just working out some kinks right now, and we'll get going here in about 5 minutes. Again, to anyone jumping in, I'm just working out some kinks. It's been a while since I've streamed, and I'm going to multiple platforms at once right now. Trying to figure out something on Instagram, so just bear with me, I'm sorry. All right, hopefully everything stays stable here. How's everyone doing? Good to see you. It's been a while. Oh, I had to reinvent the whole setup here. Going to 5 platforms at once right now. We're on Twitch, YouTube, X, Instagram, and TikTok. TikTok is finally letting me go live, so hello to all the TikTok friends. Thank you for everyone who has followed the channel there. So I have a giant commission I've been working on, so I figured I'd make some progress on it to test out the stream today. Yeah. Got multiple cameras here. We got our palette camera and sort of like the paint dipping and rag camera, and then this camera. They all seem to be working. Turns out when you try to put 3 to 4 cameras through the same USB port, it gets mad, so I've had to tweak the settings and basically push my computer to the absolute maximum because, you know, pretty much every single port on my computer has a USB cable or lightning cable coming out of it. So we're pushing the CPU to the max. Anyway, this is a commission I've been working on, and it's of the towers in Narragansett, Rhode Island. Been working on the water mainly, and I've been trying to get this wall in here. So yeah, this is in gouache. This is on a 100% cotton watercolor paper, and it's mounted on birchwood. There's some thunderstorms going today, so in the theme of that, I have some thunderstorm ambience going for you. Personally, I love rain. Calms me down, relaxes me. Anyone is on YouTube, TikTok, or Twitch, or X, which is formerly Twitter, feel free to send a comment so I can see if you show up on my end, because I want to be able to see chat and say what's up. Alright, it seems like everything is working, which I'm surprised because I had to downgrade my internet recently. So I was scared that there wasn't enough upload bandwidth for it to be going. Anywho, looks like I can get the water in the screen here. Alright. Sweet. So first I have to do a little bit of paint opening here. I think I'm going to get going on this wall again. I got to the water to a point the other day or yesterday to where it's far from done, but I like to sort of get the whole painting on there to a certain point, and then start working in the smaller shapes of value and color. And yeah, so again, this is the towers in Narragansett. We are painting with poster color paint. I've been using Winsor & Newton for most of my life, but I recently tried this stuff, and it immediately stole my heart. Winsor & Newton has more dextrin in it, which is basically a sort of starchy material that helps it be opaque, but this stuff has pure gum arabic in it, which it just has the best consistency I've felt with the several gouache brands that I've tried. Not to say that Winsor & Newton is bad, but it is more than adequate. I just found it struggles a bit when you're trying to do large washes, and recently I've been doing much bigger paintings. Normally my gouache paintings have only been this size, you know, like 14 by 11, and I recently did a 3 by 5 foot one, which was huge, and that really showed the weaknesses of Winsor & Newton. I think Winsor & Newton is great for plein air, going out in the wild. Let's get my colors ready here. white. And these come in little glass jars. So the way I've learned to use them is to just take the cap off and then just rest the cap on them like that. I think I was using some yellow ochre, burnt sienna. I think I had some of, what was it? My ultramarine, because we're working with warmer colors now. So when I was doing the sky, it's a lot more Prussian blue, cobalt, cyan, sky blue, or cerulean rather. Cadmium yellow out there. Funny is how they name colors different names depending on which company, even though they're the same exact thing. So you got my white, my black. What else was I using here? I think that's pretty much it for my wall palette. Let's see. I'm gonna open up one thing. Again, it'd be of great help to me if someone told me how the sound is. If you can hear me okay. My voice to background ambience ratio is good. Don't be shy. See my drive. And so I have already painted this once on my tablet. That's how I usually work with commission. This is a commission, by the way, for those just hopping in. I like to paint it on my digital tablet and make sure the client's happy with how it comes out, color theme. We can work out changes, and then I transfer it over with gouache to a larger canvas. Let's see. There we go. So I can show you what I'm going for here. I think this button. Yes. So you can see this is the painting I've already done, and this is where I'm at with it. I like how it's coming out more saturated with the gouache. This isn't more of the chroma level I was intending. But I'm very happy with how this is in general. Also, I remember before I didn't like how I couldn't manually zoom in while I was painting. So I have this button now, and we can sort of zoom in a little more here. Not in my face, but yeah, if I'm working on a detail, get you in there a little bit better. Actually, that could probably be just a little more zoomed in. Make it a little more zoomed in. A little more. Oh no. Did not mean to do that. I don't know why my chat box is blue. It's not good. I'm gonna do a test here. Just gonna send it in. Sorry for that horribly zoomed in view of my face. Seems like chat is broken. Again, as I said, first stream in a very long time. Gotta be working on some kinks here. Let's see. There's a chat. Okay, so it did send to. Oh, hey, Auntie Larry. I'm actually streaming to multiple channels at once, so I'm just seeing the Instagram chat now. I realized that Instagram now does not get sent to my chat. I have like a chat box on my end that combines, it's supposed to combine all the chats, but good to know. It sounds good. Thank you. Appreciate it. Just saying hello. I can tell it's Narragansett, Rhode Island. Beautiful work. Beautiful work. All right. So I have to open Instagram to see the chat there. That's no good. Guess I'll put this over here then. I'll just have to turn around and check Instagram chat. TikTok chat. Do a test here. Test. And once we get this all running smoothly, won't have to be so crazy. Okay. Chat test on YouTube is working. Good to know. All right. So again, anyone hopping in, working on the squash thing today, but first time I've been live in a while, so working out some kinks here. Okay, so that sends to everything. I don't know why it's not showing up, though. This is... This is something I knew I would end up having to do here. Trying to get chat to show up on screen. Just bear with me. Tell you, I have like 17 cameras around me. It's so hard to get this one to be in the right spot to where my head's just not in front of it, but I've learned I just kind of have to paint it back. Over the years of streaming, I've learned that I just always have to paint a little bit more uncomfortably. Okay, maybe it's this. Oh. Okay, so that background sound keeps turning off. That's no good. Uh-oh. Getting a bug now. Bummer. Okay, you know what? We are just going to take chat off screen for now. And you guys can just chat amongst yourselves. In whatever chat you're in on whatever platform you're on. I don't think you can do chat from X, formerly Twitter. Let's see if that did it. Oh, I fixed it. Alright. Had a feeling that was the problem. Sweet. Okay. Can paint now. Alright. Blackburnt, Sienna, Ultramarine. Got my spray bottle. This thing is very important. Spray bottle is your best friend when it comes to gouache. I pretty much hold it in my hand the entire time. Recently got this other fun tool. it's a ruler, but it has a little slot, and there's a little ball on the end of this metal stick here, and you can slide it along this slot and then draw very straight lines. It's been great for the stone wall on the bottom, because if you have any experience trying to draw straight lines with paint, it is no good. Now, note for Instagram, anyone watching on Instagram, I tested it on my girlfriend's phone, and it should show the whole shot. On my screen, it's like cutting it off in portrait, but if you are on a phone, it should show the whole landscape mode. But I know that you can't turn it sideways, so that's just an Instagram quirk, because the whole platform is designated to be in portrait mode, so it is what it is. Let's see. All right. All cameras are working. Sweet. There are thunderstorms rolling through today, so hopefully we don't get any power cuts. That's always so unfortunate when you're live on stream and the whole thing shuts down. You lose all the momentum. I'll just go with this kind of muddy light color that I've already had mixed up. Again, one of the best features of gouache. I remember to look at this one. And use my zoom camera here. Get you down where I'm working. Stay out of the way of the camera though. That'll be fine. Even though gouache is opaque, it is beneficial to still try to start from light, I find, from experience. A light color. Oh, sorry, I am blocking it again. So let me know in chat if I'm blocking it. Here's a great reason for the spray bottle here, so just mist it a little bit, and it helps the gouache spread around a little better, and keep that blending going, that blending effect you get with wet on wet. Just gonna grab some more burnt sienna here. I love the paint dip cam. When I was doing it, I felt it was a bit excessive to have 3 extra cameras, but it gives you more to look at, I guess, right? I think I'm gonna check here. What's up, Paul? What's up, Adam? Good to see you here. Again, Instagram should be showing the whole landscape mode. Let me know if it's not. And anyone on YouTube, it would be of extreme help if, or anyone on YouTube, sorry, let's see. YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter/X to comment on the live to see if I can see your messages popping up in my combined chat here. And with the spray bottle, when you get the hang of it, it is much, like, you don't have to worry about your wet on wet as much drying up on you, but it is, you have to be careful because you can put too much water on it and then start getting little dots that happen. Grab some of my ultramarine. So my goal here right now is to throw on kind of a mix of a few colors, kind of under layer here that I'm eventually gonna add just darks and lights to. Because this stone wall here, as you can see, is very textured. This is my pre-painting I've already painted, by the way, that I'm going by, but it's a very textured stone wall, so I kind of want to get the lightest color in there, and then move from that. Move this up a little here. Oops. It's like getting it out of the way of my face. Again, this is my progress so far, but I have a little zoom button. You can see what I'm doing. Grab a little light here. I find that by resting the caps on the top of these paint jars, it helps them stay wet longer. Sure, air is still getting in. However, you know. Do you want to check something on my microphone really quick? I forget if I had a limb. There is noise suppression. Okay, good. The noise suppression is so that you only hear my voice when I talk, and you're not gonna hear all the little taps and water sounds and feedback. I know some people do like the ASMR of the art sounds, but I find that I have too much trouble with feedback and unruly sounds coming through the stream, so hopefully this is adequate. I'm going to turn the sensitivity up a hair on my microphone so that when I'm over by my paints, which are more over on this side, I'm not disappearing on you. Just uploaded 2 new originals to my website today, planetjokum.com. You can go check those out. They're for sale and ready to go. And I've had a new style of preparing the originals lately. They're mounted onto 3/4 inch birchwood now, sealed. I just like how it feels, and now I'm not just giving you a piece of paper, giving you something to hold in your hand, you know, something ready to go. Which, from past clients that I've painted for, you can bring that to a frame shop and frame it still, if you want to. I'm gonna bring a little bit of this, I'm just gonna toss a little bit of black in the corner of my palette here, just so I can have it when I need it. I don't want it to be too vibrant. There we go. All the blue. Drag it over here a little more white. What I love about gouache is you can sort of set up your palette. I mean, you can do this with any paints, but I like how I can set up my palette, sort of get paint mixed, and there's no really time constraint I am up against to make sure my paint doesn't dry, because I can just spray it with my spritzer. Alright, so I found out my background sound player here, if it has a lack of activity, it just shuts off, so that's no good. Well, you're gonna learn today. Refresh the page. Due to inactivity, huh? Okay. Try a different category here. Let's see the vibe. Lo-fi gets a little annoying after a while, but play a few tunes with it. I'm trying this new AI music player because if you're familiar with streaming, it is absolutely obnoxious how much they take down or mute your stream from copyright music. So, trying to avoid that today. And I'm not looking for a perfectly even wash here. I want texture to build up. The other reason I like preparing my palette is to sort of get that color variant in there. I like for the colors to not be exact, especially in stone. Stone has a lot of variant to it. Here, I'll zoom in for you. So far, so good. A lot of professional streamers, they have a whole computer that's dedicated to taking on the load, CPU load, GPU load, internet load of the stream. And I have one computer, so the one computer does everything. And so it tends to crap out a little bit. Also, another rule with gouache and watercolor that took some experimenting to figure out is it can be dry, but then it can be cured, kind of like when you're using house paint. It can be dry to the touch, but it's not necessarily cured yet. And when it's cured, you can actually wet it a little bit before it reactivates. But you only have about 1 to 2 tries before it starts lifting up on you. And what's great about that is you don't have to worry, like if I'm spraying with my sprayer here, I don't have to be so concerned about some mist hitting up here. What I don't want is a big drop of water to rest there for a bit. But a little bit of mist, it's not going to do anything to it. It's log. I just died for a while. Need some more warm burnt sienna here. Cross the ultramarine over. There we go. Burnt sienna is probably one of the most burnt umber, burnt sienna, especially burnt sienna. Probably one of the most versatile colors. It's so good for canceling out a blue, making a gray, while not using black. A lot of artists will tell you to not use black when you're mixing, and that's partially true. You can absolutely use black. But it all depends on what you're doing. Because black is a color, and depending on what black you're using, you can get all sorts of colors that you wouldn't otherwise if you didn't use black. I was trying to get this base layer down here. Welcome, Quiche. Thanks for hopping in. Working on a commission today, first time back in a while. Just zoom out a little bit. Give you a look at the progress. Seems like we were all still connected. Nice. All right. Now, I've discovered that the music will randomly stop occasionally, so I apologize for that. That's just because the AI music player that I am using to not get copyright issues is part of another streaming software, and if you're not actually streaming through that, it deems you as inactive. But it seems to go long enough to where it is not that much of an issue. You might just keep this tab open. What if there's a button I can press? What if I just like shuffle? I just like shuffle the tune enough. All the connections seem to still be going great. Thanks to anyone new hopping in. This is my first time live on TikTok, by the way. TikTok did not let me go live for the longest time. They used to have some requirements. I think it was like you had to have 1,000 followers or something, and send in an application and a resume. I don't know, but randomly they let me go live. So this is my first debut on TikTok, painting my gouache painting. Anyone hopping in? Again, a little zoom out for you. Oh, I love my zoom button. This is great. I didn't have this before. Yeah, I'll just zoom out for a minute here. And we are streaming on 5 platforms. Hey, what's going on, Ariba Crafts? Thanks for hopping in. Good to see you. First time live in a while. I used to live stream like crazy, man. Been on a little hiatus. Working on a commission today. And today is a mixture of going live again and also trying to work out any kinks. Anything that's not working. And this is the towers in Narragansett. A lot of work to do. Worked out the water a lot yesterday. But thanks for saying hello. That helped me a lot to see YouTube's coming in. Instagram's still good. All right. I'm paranoid. I can't tell you how many times I've been streaming and something disconnects somewhere. And I don't realize it for like 10 minutes because I'm just like super focused. It's the worst. But like my cameras will freeze. Right now they seem to be doing good. Palette camera, paint camera. Alright. Eventually I'll relax into it. Get some yellow ochre again. Also on my palette, I like to mix light to dark, and then I like to have multiple palettes. I have 3 going right here. So like this is my water palette I was using yesterday, and because gouache is awesome, I don't have to clean this. I can just reactivate this when I'm ready to work on the water again. All my colors are already mixed and ready to go. But yes, we're back. Social media is a beast, let me tell you. Trying to manage all the channels, use all their features. Used to be like really heavy into Twitch. That's where I first started, and we got all crazy about the, you know, the different emojis you can use and the subscription tiers and all that. I remember it was really exhausting to give like everyone something for a subscription, but I think YouTube is my favorite right now. I would be streaming on Facebook, but by the way, I'm in an art competition. I'm trying that people's artist thing, and I know it's controversial. I personally, I have a lot of mixed feelings about it. But I am doing it out of a sort of you know, screw it mentality, see what happens. And managed to make it to the top 5. I think there's like 2 days left to get first place or I'm eliminated. But kind of weird. I mean, at first I thought it was for artists, but basically like anyone can join. More of a social media competition than it is an art contest, if that makes sense. Getting very warm here.
Okay.
I was cold and then now I'm warm. What's that? Hard to stand up over here without knocking anything over, so. But from the hiatus, you know, it's a bit overwhelming to like fill all the blanks on all the platforms. Now I'm gonna live stream. I'm gonna stay with my reels, my shorts, my photo uploads. But as I get back into this and kind of warm up into it, figure out how to fill everything up again. I know a lot of people use Patreon. I'm not sure how to go about that yet, but maybe that'll be something in the future. I'll offer something to you, you know, whether it's a lesson or, you know, really well edited educational art videos that are behind a paywall. Because then they're worth paying for. I mean, I appreciate anyone that just wants to, you know, pay me because I exist and I'm out there doing it. But I want to offer something. Yo, what's up, boss? Finally, someone I can trust in chat to answer me for a second here. It's been a long time since I've streamed, so we are not going to have the traffic that I used to have for a while. We're gonna have to build up that momentum again. But that is all good. That is the price you pay on social media if you take a break. I always like to try to make sure my brush strokes are going in perspective here. I need a vast amount more paint. Go for it, really get some paint on there. Being conservative. Oz, we could get a music to voice read. Does it sound good? Can you hear me okay? Especially when I'm faced over here by these paints. That's... I want to make sure y'all can hear me when I'm turning around. That would be great to know. By the way, share this with your friends if you can. I am live on Instagram, X, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube all at the same time. And when Facebook finally lifts that silly ban. Yes, basically that's what I was saying. So I'm in this art competition, the People's Artist. And if you go to my Facebook, Planet Jokum, the link is both pinned on my profile and my art page at the top. And you can give me a free vote every 24 hours. However, when I started sharing that link, I need a bigger brush here. When I started sharing that link, Facebook, they deemed me as a cybersecurity threat. How silly is that? Probably one of the dumbest strikes I've ever gotten. And they inhibited my ability to go live on Facebook for a month. That was brutal. And they took my monetization away. If you're a creator, and you have been for a while on social media, you're probably very familiar with the frustrations of that. It's one of my favorite features of water media here. You can really spread out paint quick. But I come from acrylic roots, so I learned a lot of my color mixing and stuff, and sort of wet on wet, dry on dry brushwork stuff from acrylic. But gouache is the home base. Can you hear me good? Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Need some more ultramarine on here. Wonder why they call it ultramarine. This edge of this wall here is in shadow. So. But I do want it to be warm. I'll tell you what, these large paintings, everything just needs to be double in size. The brushes, the amount of paint you use, etc. Gonna just shuffle the tune here, make sure I let the browser know I still exist. Probably a tad much. Let's try this category. And it's playing nothing. Get a refresh page. Using an awkward music player right now. There we go. Need some more white. You know, I'll be honest with you. After switching to the big brush, I think I'm gonna go back to the smaller one, because that bigger brush I was using, it's more of a wash brush, and I think I was able to build more texture. Let's adjust our zoom camera here. Get you over where I'm working. So when I press it, it's actually zoomed into where I am. Get in, for anyone hopping in. The commission I'm working on right now. Figured it was a good test for coming back. And no, it's not AI. I had to throw that joke out here. At least once today. I don't even want to start talking about that, to be honest. Oops. Oop. Get me all worked up about AI. That's it, banned from chat house. It's just a travesty. Travesty. But it's here to stay. Nothing I can do about it. When you got the trillion-dollar companies playing ball, they create the market, and that is pretty much all they wrote, you know? Second they start doing it. They run the world. So I'm just laying down some texture layer here. Purposely being messy with the strokes because it's going to be stone wall. I don't know what kind of stone. Unfortunately, so this is an actual place. This is the towers in Narragansett, and because I'm in Tennessee, I wasn't able to go there and take pictures myself, which is ideal. I like to get my own picture because then it's like my composition. But I ended up having to draw. This is my composition because what I ended up doing was getting several photos and just kind of scoured the internet for all the photos of the towers I could find. And combined what I like from all of them. Now I'm gonna have to come in with a ruler and sort of preserve this white edge here. Got a little shaky handed there and went a little too high, but love working transparently. A little more of that dark blue down here. See, it makes that nice warm but gray shadow color when you mix burnt sienna with ultramarine, a little bit of white. White to keep it bright. Oh. Hopefully all the screens are still running smoothly here. I'm glad I hopped on Twitch, Josh. It seems like seem to get my notification there. Feel like I would have missed you. Having lots of fun with that water yesterday. I like to think of water as almost like it's glass when you're painting it. Tinted glass. Because when you take a picture of water, it's still. Zoom out a little bit. Give you all some context here. I ended up going a bit darker with it, didn't I? I'm getting some base color going, then I can start layering it. Just started bothering me that the whole painting wasn't filled in. Like I said at the beginning of stream, I like to get everything filled in, some basic structure, and value, kind of a mid-tone. Like working from mid-tone. Brush is a bit harsh. It's not really a watercolor brush, it's more of an acrylic brush, but I like it because it doesn't hold as much paint. It dries out really quick. Or it doesn't hold much water, rather. And so, it's easier to get dry brush strokes with it. See, like that right there. That nice little dry brush that happened. Right there. I could zoom in more, but I feel like the more I zoom in, it gets blurry. So. Not letting me. Okay. Hey, what's up, Sophia? Joining on the Insta, huh? I don't normally go live on Instagram, but figured I'd try. Little rebellion. The only version of Facebook. I have right now until June 28th. On June 28th, I can go live again on Facebook. So I figured I'd do all the platforms I can. In the meantime, just like occasionally zoom out. By the way, oh, looks like I got a little skippy there on Instagram for a second. Hopefully I'm still connected. Because it's been such a hiatus. Cat's a bit dead. However, it's okay. Gotta build it up again. And once I know that my stream is running properly, smoothly, for at least the majority, definitely will blast it out more when I go live. Get a little refresh to the music here. Love it. Couple spritzes and your palette's back. An Ocarina of Time remake? Bro. That sounds so sick. For PC? Wait, is Zelda owned by Nintendo? Because if so, we're not gonna be able to play it unless you own like a Switch or something. I did not see that, but that is freaking awesome. I wonder what they'll change about it. Get a little more burnt sienna here. Like just a guy hitting a snare drum. What are you gonna be able to play it on? You know? Basically just building texture here. The gouache way. The gouache way of life. Ah, switch 2, I knew it. Oh well. I was enjoying the playthrough of Ocarina of Time when we were streaming that a while back. Totally down to revisit it. Just not sure how to brand or like more better setup. I'm not sure what like channel. Get a zoomer on here. I'm not sure which channel I want to stream gaming on, or if I want to stream gaming at all. I don't know. I'm not like a game streamer, but it was fun to have people hang out and do that, so. I remember getting stuck on the water temple for like 3 hours. But the rules of the stream was I wasn't allowed to look it up. I really wanted to have that nostalgic experience of going through the pain. Got a nice dry brush there. Instant stone texture. Gotta love it. Let's try layering a dry brush sugar over and over again, different ways. I do have Ocarina of Time on my Nintendo 64 emulator, which is amazing. I'm so glad that they ported that to Windows several years ago, or many years ago. Way more than several at this point. You play any Nintendo 64 game on Windows PC, and I even... I can get it here. Oh. I even got this. It's the USB Nintendo 64 controller. Because, you know, I figured you gotta do it right, you know? And the thing is, certain games that require like a thumbstick, it's just miserable playing on a keyboard. You can't, you know, slightly move it. I'm pretty sure with the Nintendo 64 emulator, you can't use you can't use the mouse like you would in like a first-person shooter. Never press the spray bottle slow. Just made that mistake. That's how you get those big droplets. Very dangerous. I like how the stone texture is building up with the dry brush strokes. Let's try another genre here. Let's see. Cinematic. That's definitely not it, but I just had to see what it sounds like. I knew it. Jazz. Yeah. Acoustic is usually cheesy. It's fine. Fine for now. Basically, I found this thing that generates an unlimited AI music track because literally since like 2019, you cannot, pretty much just can't use music on your content or you get it taken down. So fortunately, that is one way I have to contribute to AI. But I was reading into their terms of service because I'm just used to reading into that to know, because the thing is, the way it works is all these different social media platforms, they have their own catalogs, and so I always have to make sure that it's cleared for use. Because if not, you get dinged. And what they were saying was, it's kind of like a closed loop. So they hired a bunch of musicians that willingly contributed some ideas that they recorded to train this specific model, if that makes sense. Oh, palette cameras are working. I realized my face cam is not, though. Need to fix that. Well, it happens. There we go. Thing is, I have literally like 7 cameras going through one USB port. Uh-oh. I see a little bit of lagging happening. Hopefully. It's still smooth for y'all. How is it on Twitch, Oz? Is it lagging bad? Oh no. It may have frozen. Yeah. Looks like it went to a very slow frame rate, unfortunately. Well, we had... I'm gonna snooze that ad. I forgot that there's ads on Twitch, sorry. Getting used to streaming again. Forgot about all this stuff. Ads. How many ads? 5 minutes. Manual. Per hour. No, I want less than that. There's not enough viewers to care. Just gonna do 30. I'm gonna do the least amount of ads possible. Just checking YouTube for the connection right now. Just gonna exit out of some tabs here. Refresh this. Oh well. Test on Instagram here, see if that's lagging horridly. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Sorry, guys. Not sure how to fix that. Is it smooth again? Guess I can use Twitch to determine that. Just looking at how much it's lagging right now. Okay, it seems to have smoothed out again. Oh, no, there it goes. If you're still there, Oz, is the audio clipping as well? Yeah, it's unfortunate. I'll probably have to play with my bitrate and stuff. My bitrate settings. It's good on your end. Like I'm not like choppy. Like as I wave in front of this right now. So I'm seeing like super chop on my end. Oh, now that I say it. Yeah, like see right there. I feel like, I mean, you're like 15 seconds behind. So, and when I'm seeing it, it's gonna take you a second to see it, but. It's good on your end. You don't see the video being skippy at all? You know what, 1 second, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna eliminate all possibilities here. Sorry about that. I went to go find other things in my house that could be using Wi-Fi to free up the connection, much as technologically possible. Okay, now that I kind of got this layer on here, for the most part, I'm gonna do a little trick. I'm not sure I'm happy with the perspective 100%. I think it's vanishing. Alright, brother. Thanks for hopping in, man. I appreciate you. Always appreciate you being here, man. You're always real with that. Need to get more reds. Sometimes I just put my hand too. Kind of smooth out textures of hair more. Acoustic music sounds like almost like a Stardew Valley opening screen song. Preserving that white line, I'm gonna come in later and draw that with a ruler at some point, but open up my gray. Seems like it It's smoothed out a bit here. You know what else? Let me check my background stuff here. I'm gonna close Google Drive. That could be a culprit, for sure. Yeah, running at 3,000 kilobytes per second, which is low. When you're streaming, you want to have like 5,000. But pushing it, we're pushing it. I need to stand up and back up for a second. I'm afraid it's a little... It's vanishing a hair too much. A chance to take out my little ruler tool here. Now I'm gonna draw a line. I found using the square brush a bit more tricky, so it's kind of like chopsticks. You put one on the other hand, like this, and then it slides on this little thing here. So I am going to see. I think it's more like this. Will feel better to my eye. I'll start here. That was to go out. I don't want to be too crazy. It's somewhere there, so just take a stab at it. You can always paint over it. I haven't. So watching some Japanese artists using the thing, I can tell you it's not as easy as it looks when you first start using it. I'm gonna have to build the technique up. I feel like this. Start there. I don't want to go too much. Probably too much, but we'll find the line. I spent a couple hours with this ruler the other day and got more of the hang of it. So. There we go. Let's zoom in. You can see the line I drew there. Still connected. I guess, you know, it's just gonna get hippie. Wonder what's the lowest I can push. The bit rate for streaming. It's clearly struggling, unfortunately. But again, today was a day of figuring out how things are gonna go. Especially with the new internet connection. I sort of freehand the line here. Let's do the X. Kind of visualize it in my head. Center. X here, X here. Center here. Probably more. Probably more here, honestly. Smudge that out. Zoom in for you. It's a little blared out. In real life, I have a bit more contrast to it. So I'll be able to review this stream and see what is actually happening. It's always a mystery. And I apologize if it's been a terrible, skippy viewing experience. It seems like it on Instagram. Hell, I dare refresh this. Watch it kick me off. Doing a frame rate test here. Oh, it's very behind on Instagram. So far not changing, that's not good. Okay. Yeah, it's very skippy. Just for the integrity of the stream, guys, I am going to not be able to see Instagram chat. I'm sorry. So if you want to join chat, come on over to one of the other platforms, YouTube, something like that, whatever you prefer. Feeling a little better about this perspective line. I want to fill it in. Don't need this brush anymore. I will troubleshoot. Best way to go about using a slower internet connection. There are ways around it. Or tricks to tweaking the settings. Might even just need to put it back to 5,000 and test it like that. Like, I don't know if that's what it tries to shove through the connection or if it's what it tries to reduce it to. I don't fully understand all of that. Reactivating this little edge here. guess my best test monitor is Twitch. Seems like since I've stopped, because I had a viewport on Instagram, I think it was trying to download that at the same time, which is hurting me. Yeah, it seems smoother now. Yeah, it seems to be much smoother since I've done that. Noted. So maybe I don't need to change the settings. But I do need to minimize all monitors, clearly. I think that was the problem. Do a little wash here. I'm gonna get the gray. It's called French gray. Get my bigger brush. I'm gonna use the corner here. Nice warm gray. It's almost like you made a gray with ultramarine. Oh, it's like way smoother now, huh? Nice. Okay. It's probably miserable to watch for the last 15 minutes until I figure that out. Sorry. Touch of yellow ochre here. That was way more than a touch. These big brushes, sometimes you grab too much paint. Thing is, the color right now is high noon, basically is what I'm going for. Somewhere between 11 and 2 o'clock for the color palette. And the sun is pretty white. And you get a lot of local color, but it has a whisper still of yellow warmth in it normally. I'm not grabbing enough paint here. Use a different brush to grab the paint. The danger of a giant brush. Paint. Gouache goes a long way, which is great. You don't need to have a full thick covering or film on the painting. Go with this. Use my hand here. Just get it a little bit wet. Doesn't gotta be soaked. There is a time where the paper has to be soaked, and that's for like a nice sky gradient like this. But now that I know it's running better, I'm gonna hide the player on Twitch. I don't want to be having that. Ruin my frame rate here. It is a bit blurred out. I'm gonna turn the exposure down one hair. One hair. I just want this nice light sort of pavement color. And what's nice is when you have all those little water beads, the surface tension helps the paint jump across the paper more than if it was dry. One to two sprays is all you need. Just want to get rid of all the white paper. That should be enough paint to do it. Get a little zoom here. Maybe the zoom's a tad aggressive. Alright, just zoomed out enough. Not gonna be perfect. Yeah, I keep moving everything. Oh, it's because I have all the cameras selected. There we go. Go back to nature sounds for a minute. I was enjoying that earlier. It's like thunder and rain and stuff. Yeah, I gotta refresh it. This music player is a little finicky. There we go. Good old relaxing nature sounds. My favorite. Makes me feel like I'm outside while I'm in my cave. Water on my brush. It's gonna be a nice shadow here eventually. Right at the base of this wall, because decided to put the sun on an angle where casting a little bit. I don't want the sun so perfectly overhead. I want it just a little bit, yeah. So we can say it's like, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon here. Yeah, there we go. Pretty happy with that. So you can get that nice, very, very even coat when you have a little bit of water on there. Again, it doesn't need to be soaked. when you want to do a sky gradient like this, it does, but and it is beneficial to wet both sides of the paper, especially for a sky wash. In this case, I can't wet both sides of the paper because this is actually mounted onto a giant piece of wood. But when you wet the paper enough, it is soaking through to the back, and so you do get the same effect. It's just it doesn't last quite as long as if both sides are wet. I think that's the biggest benefit to both sides of the paper being wet is you get a way longer working time. Probably get like 15 more minutes, 10 to 15 more minutes of being able to work the paint. So I've reduced the amount of ads. It should only be, the thing is it forces me to do ads on, and I'm talking on Twitch by the way, because Twitch I'm monetized I guess, but the lowest I can have it is 30 seconds of ads per hour, which I feel like that's good. I had it at like 5 minutes before, so I didn't realize it because I haven't looked at my stream settings in a while, and I forgot about how you can adjust the ads, but all right, sweet. Whole thing's covered in paint now. By the way, here's what I'm going for again. Oh, no. That's the wrong screen. I just have this on the screen again. This is the pre-concept painting I did. And had a lot of fun with this wave. But it's more saturated. A little more zoomed in, but all purposeful moves. Oh man, I like the nature sound so much more than the generic music, but hey, you know, we're trying to avoid copyrights here. Very hard to do. Move this over here. Alright. Good to get the muscle memory back down here again. Running a stream and painting at the same time is proving challenging. Okay, so now I think to conclude this stream today, I'm gonna grab this paper here. Grab me a sheet of it. Set that aside really quick. Roll it back up. Sorry if the plastic is obnoxious. Hey. Keep forgetting I have a camera here and look at you, but I have all my, you know, the dashboard of the mothership here that I have to pay attention to. And I find from the past that when I look away for more than 10 minutes, something happens. Something freezes, something bugs. Got to tap my gray. Cool about this poster color paint brand is they give you in Japanese, but they give you the binder, or you can buy the binder with it. So if it dries out, you can reactivate your gouache, like in the jar. Because it's actually not good to just put water in there, because eventually you keep reactivating it with water, it'll kind of mess up the consistency of the paint and the distribution of the pigment throughout the paint. So get the pure gum Arabic liquid here, which is awesome because the Windsor are new and it comes in a tube, and I mean, granted, it makes sense because once you take it out of the tube, you're not putting it back in the tube, but these come in jars, and I could totally see how this would dry out. I sort of clean my white paint here a little bit. Sort of skim off some of the contaminated colors on top here. Tell you one thing with gouache, it smells funky. Very organic smelling. I don't know what gum Arabic is. I gotta look that up. Something tells me it comes from a tree or something. Like a rubber tree, but not a rubber tree, you know? Okay, there we go. Got the stuff out of my white there. Okay, so basically what I want to do, sort of, I'm gonna be blocking that camera for a second. I want to mask the water. You know, I think I could just fold it. Fold it down. Yeah, I'll do that. We can fold it down. Make sure I'm not getting paint on the other side of it. Dry. Fold it down as low as I can. Been running smooth since my Instagram tweet noted. Good news, good news. Okay, so I'll start over here on this side. Actually, start on this side. Change my mind. I'm gonna go a little over the edge of it here. Get as much real estate as I can. Okay, I should have had my tape ready. Now this is probably a bit extreme, but because this is such a expensive, large commission, and they take a lot of work, I do not want to risk. I shouldn't be rubbing it across. But it is dry. It should be fine. Actually worked out to have that folds there to grab it. Basically, I'm masking it here, so we're gonna do a couple of taps, tappy taps. So built up texture, somewhat here. Gonna put another layer of texture. Canvas just moved on me. Get another piece of tape. Hey, Abby. Good to see you here. Thank you. Covering it up for a second for a technique. Live streaming's back. Today has been an array of streaming error and setting things up, but it's always how the first stream goes. Hopefully it's playing smooth for you on your end. I haven't gotten someone on YouTube to comment yet today, so it would be of help if you could tell me the audio is good. You can hear the ambient storm sounds. Okay. Should be good enough. I don't like how it's lifting up there. One more piece of tape, a couple more pieces of tape. Looks good, sounds good to me, I think. Sweet, it's running smoothly. That's my last question. Is it not being glitchy, like low frame rate? We were having some internet bandwidth issues earlier, so. I appreciate you, Abby. You're always there, you know. I can't remember a single short that I've uploaded that Abby hasn't come to say hi in the comment section today. I appreciate you. It is typical to say, but frames are good. There's a little background noise, but not too bad. All right. Yeah, I'm actually playing some storm sounds. Like relaxing storm sounds. I was playing music earlier. We can switch back to the music. But it's like rain and thunder. Because it was thunderstorming today, so I figured it was appropriate. There we go. Maybe it just needs to be turned up a little bit so it just doesn't seem like it's just like bad background noise. You know. How's that? Is that too much? Now, you don't need to be scared of putting tape on it, as long as it's gentle. I want this to stretch out here. Okay. So I'm gonna do it here first. And then I think I can just use... I'll sacrifice. So I actually have a giant roll of watercolor paper that's like 44 inches by 10 yards. And from when I mounted this paper onto this board, there's always a lot of excess paper, and I make little watercolor sheets out of them. But let's see. I'll sacrifice this one because I have another one of it anyway. I didn't really like how long it was, but I have exactly the same thing, so. But rather than retaping this, I can just take this and do that. You can just tape this here very gently. And just put this back. Worthy sacrifice, yes. It's for a good cause. This piece of tape. See, as long as the gouache is cured, there's no need to fret. I don't care if it's going right up to the edge here. I'd rather be safe than sorry because I can just do that by hand. But so basically we've just been building texture on this stone wall today. The goal of today was to hope. I had to downgrade my internet because it was too expensive. I upgraded it years ago to have the higher speed for streaming. And I can do. But went to the cheapest plan. But it seems to be running it smooth enough. Thank goodness. Because that would be tragic if it wasn't. These like rain and thunder sounds. Been hearing this outside my window all day. It's just, oh. There's probably nothing more relaxing to me than a thunderstorm. Obviously not when they're threatening. You know, like a tornado's coming, but I love that. Rain and thunder ambience. Okay. Doesn't need to be crazy. There we go. Now, get this little guy here. Agreed, Star's the best, yeah. Yay for cheap internet, I get that, yep. Yep. And it just kept going up, like I have Xfinity, and they do this thing where they give you a deal, like it's a good price, but then after 12 months it goes up, and then you have to like call them and reset it and do it every year. But if you forget, it just keeps going up and up, and I like forgot for a couple years, and like it started at like $70 a month, and then suddenly it was like 125 a month, and it was just like, whoa, it's getting way out of hand. So managed to get my internet down to $50 a month, which is much better. Much better. I have 3 cameras going, Abby. Got my palette, my paint dip, base cam, or 4 cameras. People who have watched my streams for a while know I get crazy with the camera sometimes. Okay, so it's always good. Test it. The thing is, when you do the tap thing, it can be, you have a little too much paint on the brush, and the beads get a little too big, but you can't see it well on the camera. And also, you gotta watch out, it'll splash you back right in your face. So there's a sweet spot, and sometimes here, actually I can zoom in. Sometimes right, fanning out the bristles a little bit helps with the effect, or the distribution of particles. Gonna kind of experiment with it a bit. That's good enough. They're a little small. The trick is the more wet your brush is, the larger the drops will be. The drier it is, the smaller they will be. A little test here. I apologize for the loud, obnoxious tap. But maybe if I zoom in here, you get a better look. Actually, a darker color anyway. black, a little bit of blue. Bring that in. Test. And I'm staying far away from this spot. Do not want to splash dots on the blue sky. And it's hard to see on the camera, but you got these nice little textures. Before they dry, you can push them around with your hand. Now you can see the reason for the paper. Zoom in even a little more for you here. Hopefully you can see it. So you can see these little areas here showing up. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to texture stone. And it's important to turn as you do it, because if you don't, it will look like it's all going in a different direction. I don't care it's getting down here on the pavement, because this pavement, it has all those porous something you can just keep building out, building out. We're gonna go a little darker. Probably need to zoom in even more for you to see it. My 2016 camera here. There you go. Now you can see it enough. Thing is, and you can build it up with light colors and dark colors, and eventually it ends up looking really cool. Zoom in with this quick. They give us higher definition. You can see there, more clear. But now I've messed up my full screen shot. Oh yeah, gotta turn it off. Oh wait, no, that is the zoomed in one. We might keep. I wish I had like a remote that I could zoom in the camera with. That'd be awesome. But anyway, you get the point. (2016) camera technology, as I said. Over here a little. Oh, that was a good one. I got like a whole inch done in one shot. More burnt sienna. I want the shadows to be warm. See, now I went right to it with a very wet brush, and you can see the droplets are much bigger. Paper painting's fun, you know, it's not precise. I just splash myself in the face. That's the danger of this technique. You can get paint in your eye. Got some big one there. How is it? It's nice to tap it with your finger really quick. So there was missed it because I was on it, but right here there. Nice little stone texture happening. See, I've already gone and accidentally gotten some dots on my clouds. So you gotta be careful. I'm gonna have to go back and fix that at some point. But that's the danger of that. You can extend this cloud here a little bit to fix it. You know, Bob Ross talks about happy accidents, but sometimes they're sad accidents. Darn it. That's fine. We're just gonna sacrifice more paper in the name of masking. I did that to my paint stars. I did that to paint stars once, and still find paint dots and all my stuff. Yeah, I have it on my computer monitors, everything. It's everywhere. Luckily, it didn't get too bad, but I will have to come back. You know, let me try. Probably even just got it in my water. Hide my water over there. I wonder if it splashed up top here too. Yeah, wow, one found its way all the way up here. Do a little risky move here. I'm gonna do it over the cloud. I don't mind that it happened on the building here, because the building is going to have textures anyway. Thing is, it's so light. Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to. A lot of times in painting, you can fix mistakes by just continuing something that's next to it. Here's the danger one. Let's see. I can turn this into a okay, it's not the end of the world. I'm just basically lifting up a little paint in this cloud to get rid of this dot, and it's kind of just making it look like it's part of the cloud texture. That's all you gotta do. Just make it cloud shaped. Don't want to get too crazy. This happens to me all the time. Just gotta keep my brush clean. Oof, sad accidents, yeah. This has happened to me so many times though that I'm like used to it now. I prefer to catch it so that I don't forget. So I think for these here, like this, I can just, most of these ended up in a lucky spot to where it's already part of something, but the ones that are right over this smooth sky gradient are the most unfortunate ones. And just making the mistake cloud shape. And now I'm already seeing, like, when I fixed here it dried. Can't even notice it, so. I also should be using super clean water here. It's crazy because, you know, I was tapping down here and dots are making their way all the way up here, and even one even got here. So, oh well. It's the way it goes. I'm just gonna use my spray bottle to wet my brush instead here, which is actually a good way to wet your brush if you are not feeling like getting up and refilling your water jar yet. Oh yeah, I have some on my face right now too. I think I got some in my eye. Hopefully it wasn't cadmium. They say it's cancerous, so. So there is a cloud I started forming here that's not done. So I think what I can do, because there's a little bit here, I'm gonna just actually go aggressive here and just start getting the base color of this cloud. And we can turn it into a neighboring cumulonimbus cloud later, and should be no big deal. Gotta spray some water on it, not too much. Maybe have it wisp out here to the left. They go everywhere, man. Yeah. I'm just still laughing at that comment because, I mean, geez, I've been painting in my studio for years and years and years now, and they're everywhere. Like I'm looking around now and I'm just like, they're on my mouse pad. Like, there probably isn't a single thing that they aren't on. Let me see here. We got most of them. There's 3 left. Right here. And I think I will just add to this cloud to fix them. It is what it is. But, you know, part of it is fixing mistakes and turning them into purposeful things. One thing that's trippy about gouache too is, like, when you're wetting it, it feels like you're lifting paint sometimes and it's like getting darker, but that's just the water. It's kind of like stain over wood, but it's actually fine. Once it dries, it goes back. So I have this habit of looking at chat, and I think I'm looking at you, but this is the looking at you camera. Right there. Okay. I'm glad I paused to do that before I made it any worse. One more there. And you know, I'm just gonna turn this into another cloud that's peeking over the top of this roof here. And there we go, fixed. Oh, that little spot here. Oh. Get the cat. Say hello to Nova. I know, I gotta let the cat out. I have my door closed right now. 1 second, I'll be right back. I know. Come here. Yep, it's that again. Alright, sorry about that. I'm gonna go for a bit, not sure how long you're streaming, but I wanted to at least say hi. So cool to see your process. I so appreciate you hopping in. Like I said, about a year and a half ago, I used to stream like 24/7 pretty much, like Monday through Friday. So I'm gonna try to get back on that as well as create content and some long form videos finally. There's just so much work, but really appreciate you hopping in and especially supporting me on all my content. You're always there in the comments, giving feedback, and it really goes a long way. I appreciate you. Love the cat. Me too. You're the buddy. So I was gonna say, if you do have cats, you know very well that like any door in your house can't be closed. Like they have this thing about them where they need every option available. Because like they'll want to get out of a room, you let them out, then you close the door, and then 2 seconds later they want to get back in. It's a funny cat feature. And I'm not going much longer, by the way. So I basically, my goal was to finish just texturing this wall, and then to just cut it there. It was a good stream. I don't even know how long I've been going now. I forget where it tells me. It's been 2 hours and 23 minutes. That's a good, comeback stream. I'm not doing it for a while. I had to work out a lot of kinks. It's running smoother now, thankfully. So I think I should have just opted to block the camera for now. But good to see you, Abby. Thanks so much for hopping in. I appreciate you. Oh, you have 2 cats? Oh, you know them. They need all the options, little fussy things. But if I don't see you, I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are on this big planet. Alright, finish up the taps. Sorry the face camera's blocked. I don't want to deal with getting dots on this guy again. Get the right piece there. Palette. Works awesome. I'll try to catch more streams. Hope you have a good day. Thank you so much. And I'll try to stream more. Gonna go for it again. Full content machine mode, hopefully. I'll see you around. Oh, man, I gotta tilt it away. There's a certain angle you do it, and it won't hit you in the eyes. Oh. Can't tell you, I've painted houses too for since I'm 34 now, but I've painted houses since I was in high school, and there is no talent how much paint I've gotten in my eyes. A tragic amount. Put it that way. Back away from it. I'm gonna tap it away from the computer. Get more burnt sienna. Going for the dark spots right now. I'll do another pass and get the light spots. On the next session. Organically play with these textures that come out here. I did it again. Selected all my cameras. Just that one. There we go. Little zoomed in. There's the button. Sorry, that's probably disorienting. Okay, there we go. Ah! Why does it keep doing that? Sorry. Just that one. I think it's if I double click. And my mouse has been seeing the end of its days lately, so it double clicks whenever it wants to sometimes. It's not good for gaming, I'll tell you that. Oh, I like that one right there. That was a good little organic mark. Sometimes you get these cool ones. They're not all just dots all the time. See, I don't even care that happens. Just smudge it out. Nice little rock texture there. And I almost even like when my brush like accidentally hits it. Nice. And I wanted to hit this edge here because it's very old and a lot of these chips in the rock actually chip into these corners, these beveled edges. That gives it that nice realistic look to it. Paint. There, and we'll deal with the pavement next time. I like that one that happened. One there. Sweet. All right. Perfect. The cricket track came on. That's perfect. Because it is actually nighttime where I am now. So it actually makes sense. Relaxing summer cricket time. I'm gonna put the caps back on my paint here and screw them tight. Appreciate you all stopping in tonight, hanging in through the beginning stream hiccups. Every time I start streaming again, there's always technical glitches in the beginning of the stream, like without fail, every time. Yeah, I could bend that down now. Always without fail, there is a technical glitch. Yeah, that's why I've got the technique of just put these, laying these caps on top, because they screw on. And when I first started using these paints, I would screw the cap on, screw the cap off, and it was just got to be obnoxious. So, because when you're mixing paint, it's like very fast-paced, grabbing this color, and you don't want to be like, unscrew the cap, dip brush, screw the cap back on, it ruins the flow. I think those are all sealed. And they stay very activated in these jars. Like, painted for like 8 hours the other day doing the water, and like maybe like 5 hours, 5 to 6 hours, and not a single of them dried, even the slightest. So that was my concern when I first got this brand. I was like, ooh, the caps, the jars. But, all right. Yeah, last view at it, I want to see the texture. The wall painted in, the water. Yeah. This will be the new masking paper for dot spraying. As you can see, it doesn't do anything to the paint as long as it's 100% dry. And I knew that area was 100% dry. Get a little better look at the texture there. No, guess not. Could get it to focus. Oh, got one here. Forgot about it. Sweet. Looking a lot like stone. It's one of my favorite techniques. A lot of people do it, but I think when it's more articulate, not rushed. I feel like I've seen a lot of artists, they just kind of like splat it on there. There's nothing wrong with that, but my style of it is I like to be more intentional with the amount of water, the amount of the angle I'm hitting it, the different directions. And if I zoom in here, I don't know if you can see, but it benefits you to actually, I probably see the center one's more focused. The reason you gotta tap in different directions is because you'll start to tell that like it was tapped, if that makes sense, from a brush. But the more randomness, I guess, is what I'm getting at, that you can add, the more realistic it looks. I love some of these ones that really hit the edge just right. And then like I do come in later and I'll get a lighter color and sort of accentuate the edges of some of these pits in the stone. And it really makes them pop when you put that little highlight color on the side of the divot. Seeing, did any sneak through? It was pretty much perfect, besides right here. There was a little guy right here in the water, which is fine. But this actually needs to be a dark color in the water. The thing about these dots too, if they get away from you, it's a spray technique. And and they get somewhere else on your painting that you don't want them to be, the quicker you get to them, the better. If you let them dry, you're gonna have to really rub into it more, and you'll start lifting up the paint before it. But sweet. All right. Definitely feel better about the perspective of the stone wall. Before it was a bit thin. It was vanishing. The lines. These lines are. I love how these lines came out on top, but the bottom one wasn't converging properly to the vanishing point. Just stepping back. Now it's looking like stone. That really brought it more towards stone. Just that right there. Double check for any dots that got away from me up here. I actually fixed them all pretty good. Oh, we got one huge one. Just make it this one. Big fat one got up here. Before it cures overnight, just gonna get to it now. Just merge. Cloud texture there. Just lift up the paint a little bit. Let that dry, that should be fine. Any more? No. I'm glad I thought to look before that went too far. Got a little one here. Oh, actually, no, that's not even one. That was just a little piece of dirt or something. One left here. Just combine it with that cloud. You know, obviously, if you step back 20 feet from the painting, you're not gonna see them, but I'm fussy and zoomed in. Alright, sweet. Now the whole paper is filled in. I'll say when I first started watercolor and gouache, I used to paint on the loose paper on the desk, and it's great when both sides of the paper were wet, but before I got both sides of the paper wet and I was hip to that technique, I would just wet one side and the paper would buckle a lot, and it's buckling in the paper is a nuisance when you're trying to do a nice sky gradient, like, you know, this like cerulean up to the cobalt with the whisper of ultramarine at the top, and getting those hues to blend together. You'll get these little dips and waves in the paper, and they'll sort of collect more water than you want. And ever since I started mounting the paper onto a board before I started painting, it is such a pleasurable painting experience, to tell you, like having a perfectly stone flat piece of paper the whole time. It's so good. When you wet both sides of the paper, it does say stone flat on the desk, but you don't always have that luxury. Like, for example, if you are painting plein air, usually it's kind of up on an easel, and when you're wetting both sides of the paper, it's usually on a flat desk or like a slightly tilted desk. And the nature of an easel out in the woods, you're usually taping it down because there's wind, and like the easel's much more on a sharp, steep angle. So like, you know, I mean, you can make it work. Like if you had a little table I have a table that sits on top of a camera tripod, and if you really wanted to and it had the right surface, you could have a little table that was at the right angle, and you could wet both sides. But when I plein air with gouache, I find that I like it to be taped down and secured. But when I first started painting on board, I was actually worried about the paper not getting wet enough because I'm only wetting one side, as well as the glue lifting, which it doesn't. I had to experiment with glues, but yes, the buckling of the paper, I do not miss it. I'm just checking for any more dots here before I call it for the night on the painting, because like I was saying earlier, if they cure, more work getting them off. Okay, that was luckily a piece of dust or something. I am impressed with this paint over cold press. This is cold press watercolor paper, which just has a rough texture to it versus hot press. And pretty much all the tutorial videos you look up, or educational videos on poster color paint, they do it on hot press. But in my opinion, experience, you can't beat that dry brush you get, that dry brush texture you get from cold press when the paintbrush just barely touches the top of that texture. It's so good. Thanks, Oz. I appreciate you, brother. Long way to go, but we got it laid out. It's satisfying to have all the white covered finally. It start feeling like it's on its way to being done. Well, with that said, I appreciate everyone who hopped in today. I know it was a bit shaky at the start, took a little bit to get going, figure out all the kinks. But yeah, I always appreciate you, all the OGs that have been here since the beginning. So good to see you. And let's keep the stream train rolling, content machine rolling. If life allows, good health allows, yeah. I hope you have a good night, wherever you are on the planet. And signing off here at Planet Jokum Studio. See you next time. I don't have a stream schedule yet. Just kind of gonna stream as much as I can, when I can. But maybe we can get it on a more regular basis so people can get used to when it's happening again. Hope you all have a wonderful night. See you next time.